you want to do this project for Black History Month?
Well, I'm glad you asked. There's a book called The Souls of Black Folk by W.B. Du Bois. It's a very popular book, and on page 7, he talks about double consciousness. In modern times, we would call it code switching. He says, the Negro is a sort of seventh son, born with a veil and gifted with second sight in this American world. A world which yields him no true self-consciousness, but only lets him see himself through the revelation of the other world. It is a peculiar sensation, this double consciousness, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. Certain things we do and certain ways that we react to things is not even done on purpose. It's almost like a learned behavior, like something we got from our parents.
I don't know what's wrong. I couldn't seem to reach my parents.
Bubba? Come on over here and give your mama some sugar, boy!
Du Bois defines double consciousness as the struggle African Americans face to remain true to Black culture while at the same time conforming to the dominant white society. Double consciousness might have started as a fear response during slavery.
Don't send Toby away. Toby be good for your hand, boss. Good for your hand, master.
That's all right, Toby. That's all right. You be a good field hand and you can stay here.
Toby stay. Toby stay. Toby be good now. Toby be real good.
The amygdala is the part of the brain that processes fear. It plays a role in reward-based learning, aggression, and social communication. I think there is a fear of being jobless or a fear of being homeless with no money that influences us to try to fit the mold of the perfect employee. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, are organizational frameworks which seek to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people, particularly groups who have historically been underrepresented. In January 2025, President Trump called DEI efforts illegal and immoral discrimination programs and public waste in his executive order, demanding that all government DEI programs be shut down by January 23rd.
When I'm at work, I try to use more professional terms instead of using slang.
African American slang is formed by words and phrases that are regarded as informal. Slang is more common in speech than it is in writing.
That's your problem. You can't take anything seriously.
Look, man, I don't have a problem, all right? You had a problem. All right, I remind you of where you came from and what you used to be. Now, I don't know, somewhere between Princeton or the office, you got soft. You forgot who you are and where you came from.
You think you're so wise. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Let me tell you something, son. I grew up on the streets just like you. I encountered bigotry you could not imagine. Now, you have a nice poster of Malcolm X on your wall. I heard the brother speak.
You actually heard Malcolm speak, man?
That's right. So before you criticize somebody, you find out what he's all about.
I do believe that in order to communicate effectively, you have to read the room. Using the white voice is like a cheat code. It speeds up the process of whether or not that person should trust you or not. It's really something we do for them, not so much us. Code switching is the practice of alternating between two or more languages or varieties of language in conversation. It is used by the Black community to eliminate bias and stereotypes towards them, especially in non-Black dominant spaces.
Hey, Bill, how are you? Nice to meet you. What's up, baby? Right? Nice to meet you. Cool, good. Word up. I'm saying nice to meet you. Good. How you doing? Good to see you, man. See how we like loosen things up here. We like playing around and stuff.
For the most part, we code switch to identify with a particular social group. And most of the time, we don't even realize we're doing it.
And that's why I brought my baby's favorite. Goose grease soup.
Goose? Is this goose grease soup? This is goose grease soup. You know, we were just sitting around talking about, man, I sure could go for some goose grease soup. Ain't that right, Bubba?
The history of the American Negro is the history of this strife, this longing to attain self-conscious manhood to merge his double self into a better and truer self. In this merging, he wishes neither of the older selves to be lost. He will not Africanize America, for America has too much to teach the world and Africa. He will not bleach his Negro soul in a flood of white Americanism, for he knows that the Negro blood has a message for the world. He simply wishes to make it possible for a man to be both a Negro and an American, without being cursed and spit upon by his fellows, without having the doors of opportunity closed roughly in his face. Is it even necessary anymore? I mean, it might just be residual behavior from the past. We may not even need to adapt that skill set anymore.